Yeah, well, Reginald, thank you for having me here, a part of this production team for June 21st. This is my first Juneteenth actual event. So I just want to let you know that I'm super honored to be a part of this production. And a little bit about me, I'm a videographer, photographer, music artist, and lover of life, right? I love connecting, I love relationships, I love building. And that translated to me being a videographer and photographer because storytelling, right? So on top of storytelling, I'm the founder of a new platform called Black Stock Footage. We're a stock video marketplace specializing in Black representation, curating cultures, curating community, and all through doing that through content. So a little bit about me, I'm just gonna give you a little background. I see stories everywhere. Stories are so important because they shape who we are, they shape our narrative on the world, from the story we tell ourselves to the story we see about other people. So I'm super fortunate to be in a position where I can have fun using my camera to tell other people's stories. So I'm a light bender, that's what I like to call it. And being a light bender, I'm able to craft narratives. Everybody has a gift, everybody has a skill, everybody has an ability. And I thankfully found mine when I was at the age of 18. And my friend wanted to be a rapper. And I picked up my brother's camera and I never put it down. And so 10, 12 years later, now I'm a storyteller, videographer, photographer. I travel the country telling different stories, connecting communities. And through Black Stock Footage, I really found my niche in terms of how I want to tell the story of the Black community. Because I've been telling a lot of other different ethnicities, a lot of different people's stories. And I never really told Black stories. And so now I'm doing that, and I'm on a mission to do that, and using my skills and gifts and abilities to empower our Black community, to preserve and cultivate and curate our narrative, but then also through Black Stock Footage to make it accessible and visible to anyone who needs content focused on Black representation. I think that was the biggest thing where my focus is, and if I wanted to let people know who I am and what am I doing, is how do we curate and cultivate more Black stories that are authentic, culturally relevant, and how do we make them accessible and visible to the world? Because if not, our story is gonna get left behind. So that's who I am in a nutshell. And to sum it up, I'm a videographer, photographer, music artist, and founder of Black Stock Footage. Number one, this event is special in my heart because it's my first Juneteenth event. And what Juneteenth represents is so impactful and it's so powerful, a celebration of our liberation, of us as a people. And for me to be a part of this event as a young Black professional, one, I feel like I'm honoring my ancestors. I feel like I'm doing justice to people or my ancestors who've done a lot for me and paved the way for me to be here, standing in all white, talking confidently to you. So number one, I feel like I'm really empowering my ancestors. And anybody who wants to be a part of an event that is about recognizing, acknowledging, uplifting, and saying and giving thanks to their ancestors, especially if you're Black, this is the event you want to be at. It's a networking event where we can honor each other in this present moment and give thanks to the people who paved the way for us to be here. Now, as a young Black professional, I think it's very, very important. So to give a little context, I'm in between two worlds, right? I'm a creative. Some creatives may not consider themselves professional. They just say I'm a creative. And then you have professionals who maybe run a business. They may not consider themselves creative. I'm at the intersection of those two worlds. So I have a very unique perspective. And so I feel like me being a Black professional, a young Black professional, I have a responsibility to make sure that my generation is being seen, heard, and valued in more elevated spaces. Point blank. I know we can go to such and such house and have a house party and have a great time. But as a professional, we have to start figuring out how we can come together in different spaces that are more curated and elevated to experience the older generation, to experience how they have done things and how we can learn from that and be a part of their experiences. This Juneteenth event on June 21st, the value that I get, I've done hundreds of networking events. I've been on the other side filming these networking events. And one of the biggest things that I can say out of all those networking events that I've been to, culture. A lot of those events, I did not feel welcome. Not that there were negative people, but the culture was not my culture. So it was very challenging for me to show up authentically in those spaces. Being at this upcoming Juneteenth networking event, this experience is not just about networking, it's experiencing different Black cultures under one umbrella. And I think that is extremely valuable for any Black professional or budding Black professional that wants to be seen, heard, and be a part of an experience that's in an elevated space. Now, the second thing is I want to meet the value that I want to get, and I think other Black young professionals can get from this is let's meet the next generation above us. A lot of times we feel isolated. I know I felt that. Who's who? Man, they made it already. They're not going to want to talk to me. All those self-chatter and those talks have been going through my head for years as I was working silently on my business. Now I have an opportunity to show up authentically and network, communicate, and commune with other Black folks who've been there, done that, and they can see me in an element where it's not necessarily corporate, suit and tie, but it's in a relaxed environment. And I think that's important. Being in a relaxed environment where we all feel welcome. And then the older generation, they can look at us and be like, hey, we're doing this together. So it's not competition, it's collaboration. So that's what the value that I want to get out of this event. And I know that other young Black professionals can get from this Juneteenth event as well. A lot of us Black folk, we have a very monotonous structure. We need to create spaces where we can break down those walls of corporate or who's who and be and commune together. I think that's very important when you say Tampa or Tampa Bay. There's so many Black folks from different generations, different backgrounds, and we're all here. There's people from New York, from Houston, from Miami. We're all amalgamated here, but we're not talking to each other. We're not experiencing what we have to offer together. There's smaller events that are doing it, but none that I've seen that puts the emphasis on it's okay to be Black. It's okay to be proud of being Black. And it's okay to be a proud Black professional. And having that professional experience and bringing it together under one umbrella in Tampa and in Tampa Bay, I truly believe is needed. And that if we can get that formula right and have something like this every year or once a quarter, we're gonna break down so many barriers, in business, barriers to entry. We're gonna break a lot of those down and be able to bridge the gaps between age, professional experience, between gender even, and so many other barriers that we experience, work, geography, location. I want us to get together, have a lot of fun, build with each other, and be able to say, hey, okay, let's follow up this conversation. I love how you were dancing on the dance floor. I see your passion on the dance floor. And what do you do again? Oh, you're a photographer? You're an investment okay, let's chat, let's have lunch. And I think this event is gonna allow us to do more of that in a manner that it's not as formulated. And I think a lot of us Black folks, sometimes when we say structure, you gotta put on a suit, you gotta put on, it's like, wait, I'm not really trying to do that. And not that that's bad, but we wanna bring all those elements of professionalism, laid back relaxedness, good music, good vibes, different experiences, and bringing those into one umbrella. I think it's gonna be a hit. If you're on the fence about coming to this event, here's what I would say. If me being a young Black professional in the creative and in the business realm, I know we all have personal brands, right? We all have a personal brand. Let's put that down for a second. Let us just show up and be present in the building. If we're not present, a couple hundred people seeing us, that does numbers. Sometimes we think social media is the end all be all. I got 1,000 likes, I got 1,000 views. But imagine you having 200 people seeing you on stage or seeing you smiling, dancing. That's the in-person connectivity that we need more of. And if you're not there, how can we connect and say, even if just seeing you, I may not talk to you, but I can say, I saw you, and follow up, hey, I saw you at this event. I didn't get a chance to connect with you, but I saw you. And I think being seen, me as a videographer, my job is to make people look good. My job is to make sure you're seen and heard. So if you're on the fence, show up, be seen, be present. We're doing this video to let you know. I could be a videographer and be silent behind the camera. I have to step in front of the camera, put on a different role, put on a different hat. And I think a lot of black folks aren't used to doing that. We're in the same lane. We're coasting, we're going at this pace. It feels good. Now there's nothing wrong with that, but we can shake things up. We need to be seen, we need to be visible, because my generation, I'm 31. My generation, in 5 years, I'll be 36. Another 5 years, I'll be 41. So time is gonna fly by, and if we don't make those connections in person, especially in this digital age, me being a videographer, I know, we're more disconnected. So events like this are extremely important for you to be seen, to be heard, to be valued, and to have a good time, to break down some of those barriers that otherwise have been imposed on us through job, through work, or proximity, whatever it is. If you're on the fence, come to the event, show up, be seen, be heard, hug somebody, shake somebody's hand, get to know somebody. We're here to network, we're here to have a good time. So that's what I would say. Come be seen, come be heard, and have fun. Show up with a smile. You know, that the typical, the back against the wall, right? You know what I'm saying? We don't want to do that. We want to see you dancing. We want to see you, even if you're in your own world, you don't want to network with anybody or talk. Be in your own world, bring that good energy, and that's what we need more of within our black communities. So this event is different in the way that I have not seen a lot of events bridging the gap between different generations. Typically, if it's for one generation, we don't know where it's happening. It's for another one, we don't know where it's happening. But to be able to bring those two generations together, my generation, Gen X, Y, Z, and all the nuances in between are powerful. And we're gonna have networking events, we're gonna have a panel, we're gonna have multiple DJs, a cigar lounge where you can actually vibe and meet. I don't smoke cigars, but I'm interested in, hey, maybe I'll pop one and say, okay, what is this thing all about? Right? So it's new experiences. And I think that's what's missing within our black community, new experiences that bring us together in a very fluid way. That is very, very powerful, especially now where my generation and below, we feel alone, we feel isolated. Generations above me, they have families already, established networks and friends for over 10, 15, 20 years. I don't have that, and I want that. I want to have a mentor. I want to have multiple mentors, or if not mentors, associations of people who can guide me in the right way and say, hey, young buck, I see what you're doing. Let me guide you. Let me introduce you to this person. And I think that's very powerful and different because as I said, I filmed many networking events, and I don't see that happening. So this event is doing something different and new, and in a way that infuses flexibility, whether you want to go up to the lounge, whether you want to listen to good vibes on a DJ floor, or whether you want to go see some art and networking inside. There's something for everybody. So you don't have to feel like, oh, this is a party, I'm just gonna be hanging back on the wall. There's you can go experience different pockets of black culture, and that is important. From the culture, we can bridge and connect community. And from that community, we can create content, create relationships. And to me, that's powerful, and that's what's valuable, and that's what separates this Juneteenth event from any other event that I've been to. So starting from the older, let's say somebody's 60-something years old, right? They're not hanging out where I'm hanging out. That's just the reality of it. It's no negativity, that's reality. Getting those different generations, even below, I'm not hanging out where a lot of 20-year-olds are hanging out. But to get us for one night in the building in the same area, it breaks down. We don't need to necessarily say it out loud. Just us being in the space is gonna bridge that gap between those different generations. And what that does is helps us give an insight into each other. It helps us see the more humanity in each other. And if we can see the humanity in each other amongst generations, we'll have more respect for each other. We'll have more cultural new insights to each other, whether it's, oh, wow, okay, that's how those people dress. Something as simple as dressing in all white creates a commonality. It's not, okay, that person looks more, we're dressed in all white, everybody's here and resonating on that same frequency. And now it feels more comfortable to be able to go up to an older generation and say, hey, hey, okay, I like your style. Boom, sparks conversation, even if it's just creating that connection. So I think it's important for all these different generations to be in the building so we can commune, connect, build relationships amongst each other, And more than likely, we live less than 10 miles away from each other. That is the cool thing. When you really think about it, if we're all driving about 10 miles to this central location, what's to say that outside of this, building those relationships, we can't connect and meet up for lunch, meet up and say, hey, I would love to show you more, even if it's virtually. So I think this is a launching pad for all those generations, X, Y, Z, to come together and to be able to commune in one space, have a good time, build relationships, see each other in a completely different light. I know for a long time, a lot of people didn't know, I like dancing, I like smiling. A lot of people didn't know that. They just, oh, he's the videographer guy. Oh, he's a photographer guy. But I'm gonna be there shaking it up. That's why I know this Juneteenth event on June 21st is gonna be super powerful in the community. A lot of times we talk about business, right? Numbers. But let's talk about the spiritual component. I don't wanna let spirituality just be in the church, right? What is the church? When people commune and get together and we're operating on that same frequency. I'm spiritual, right? So I wanna see that energy. We don't necessarily have to say it, but just being in the space is gonna be able to connect and do something on a greater scale that we may not be seeing. We're just enjoying the night together, but we're doing it in celebration and honor of Juneteenth. We're doing it in celebration and honor of ourselves and our ancestors. That is going to be a powerful experience that's gonna cause ripples in the Black community, locally and afar, because we're gonna remember this night. We're gonna remember that night for years to come, and we're gonna say, hey, Reginald, team, whoever's behind it, when's the next one? And to me, that's gonna set a path forward that I don't see happening in Tampa. So kudos to the team behind this next Juneteenth event. Number one, I just wanna thank Reginald for coming up with this amazing, brilliant, genius idea. He's one of my mentors, and I'm proud to say that it takes a team. So him reaching out to me and telling me about this experience, I'm like, yes, sign me up, because this is what Tampa needs. This is what the Black community needs. And I'm super proud of you from the older generation. I'm proud of Reginald for creating this event for people like me to be able to show up, be my authentic self, because we need more people like that. And he's really setting the path. Now I have someone to look up to, say, man, okay, how do I do that for me in my lane? And then we combine forces, collaborate, hire each other, pour back into each other. And so we can continue building our Black community, our Black culture, and make it, I know when we benefit, everybody benefits, right? So I don't want to say Black and it's isolated. When we benefit, when we show up as our best selves and we can do better business with each other, everybody else in the community is going to benefit from that. So number one, thank you again. I appreciate you, Reginald, for creating this opportunity. I'm excited to be at it. The younger generation, my generation, the value that we're getting from this is being present and being seen in the room. Think about it. A lot of the older generation, they have 10, 20, maybe even 30 years on us of connections, relationship, experience, life experience, family experience, whatever it is that you're trying to get out of it. If we're not present in the building, how can we absorb and ask a question or whatnot? So number one, being present, you're being seen. And number two, being heard, creating that connectivity. Now, what can we offer? What can our generation offer? We got the energy. We're rambunctious. We're ready to go. We're ready to hustle. We're ready to grind. We're innovative, coming up with new ideas. Some of us are not as established, right? So we need to figure out how can we add value to the older generation, where I have a camera. I know there's plenty of people who need photo shoots, families, product photos, right? This is just me and how I can benefit. But if I'm not present in the room, how can I even smile? How can I show them I'm personable? It's not necessarily to pitch myself. I just want to show up, shake hands, maybe take a photo, maybe take a selfie and talk. So number one, being seen. Our generation, we gotta be seen. We can't hang out in our pockets anymore. Maybe 10, 15 years ago, we can do that, but now times are harder. Money is more thinner, right? Money is abundant, but you gotta find it. And building connections and relationships, that's gonna help us to be able, not just about the money, first of all, building the relationship, and then we're able to do business together. So our generation, come add value to the older generation. They're looking for people who are innovative, people who wants to come up with fresh ideas, who wanna collaborate. They're looking for those type of people, but guess what? If we're not in the building, how can they know we exist? So that's the value that I say, come tell people what you're doing, tell people what value you can add, because if we don't get that conversation ongoing, it may just stay on social media. You may do it in a scroll, but we need more in-person value. That's where it has to start, in person. If we can create that gap, we can bridge that gap of in-person connectivity, the value is naturally gonna pour out. So many young professionals, whether we're in investing, whether we're in business, whether we're new doctors, new lawyers, there's somebody from that older generation who's been there, done that, and they're looking for somebody like you.